These stories came from the deepest corners of the internet, places you should never visit. What they found there cannot be explained by logic or sanity. If you value your sleep, you should probably stop listening now. The internet is where humanity dumps its secrets. Sometimes those secrets crawl back. Tonight, we examine 3 ordinary people who stumbled into unexplainable digital nightmares. These aren't ghost stories. They are far worse, because they could happen to you. Sarah's brother, Alex, was a private guy, especially when it came to his work as a data recovery specialist. His sudden death from a reported accident left many questions, especially when Sarah received his encrypted backup drive. It took weeks of trying simple passwords, family dates, before one finally worked. Final entry. The file wasn't work-related. It was an audio diary recorded just hours before he died. Alex's voice sounded terrified. Shallow, panicked breaths punctuated his quiet speech. "I found something," he whispered. "Something embedded in a file I recovered from an old corporate server." He described it as pattern-based surveillance attached to specific, unguessable data packets. But it wasn't just observing, Alex continued, his voice breaking. It was learning, adapting. He swore he began seeing the same anomalies, the same patterns manifest outside the digital world. A strange man on his commute? A flickering light that spelled out code? He recorded his final words just before the accident, thinking he'd finally deleted it. The recording abruptly cut out. But Sarah wasn't alone in the apartment. She heard a faint, persistent rhythmic pulsing sound. It matched the binary sequence Alex had described. Mark was a freelance content moderator. His shift was the dreaded graveyard, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Most of it was spam, unstable people streaming in empty rooms. But this one was different. The channel had no name, just a series of random characters. It was titled Patient Observation. It showed a small, sterile gray room with a single metal cot and a camera high in the corner. It had been active for 7 straight days, and for 7 days, nothing had happened. Mark was assigned to monitor it because the algorithm flagged anomalous data traffic despite the lack of visual change. He spent the first few nights falling asleep, only waking to the sound of his system checking the feed. On the 4th night, something shifted. A single, distinct indentation appeared on the cot's thin mattress. It wasn't random. It remained static for hours, like someone was lying there, invisible to the camera. Mark replayed the footage, enhancing the cot area, checking for compression artifacts. For glitches, nothing. Then, on the 5th night, Mark saw actual movement, not on the cot, but in the shadows underneath it. It was too slow, too fluid to be random video noise. It looked like something was uncoiling. He checked the data logs again. The anomalous traffic spike happened simultaneously. The stream abruptly went offline. No stream ended message. Just a dead black box. Mark immediately went to check the data logs for the source IP, desperate to know where this was coming from. The IP address was internal. It wasn't an external feed. It was coming from within Mark's own home network. James's problem started with a notification. His long-dead childhood best friend, Ben, had supposedly posted a new picture. The picture was just a black square. Ben's profile had been inactive since the accident 10 years ago. James assumed the account had been hacked. He sent a simple, "Who is this?" message, and then tried to ignore it. But the responses he got weren't human. They were fragmented, just strings of letters and numbers. Then, the messages started including GPS coordinates. Every time James checked them, they were near his location. It was unnerving. He blocked the account, reported the activity. Nothing worked. One rainy night, James was working late. The messages came relentlessly, now including images, photos of the street outside his apartment, of his front door, of the hallway leading to his room. He wasn't sending these to himself. Someone was physically following him and sending the evidence. Then the phone rang. It was Ben's old number. James shouldn't have answered. The voice was corrupted. It sounded like static trying to form a human voice. It just said, "Remember? The GPS coordinates on the screen now simply read, 'Inside.'" James looked at his closed bedroom door. These stories are just the beginning. The internet never forgets. And sometimes what we think are bugs are actually invitations. Be careful what files you recover, what streams you moderate, or what calls you answer, because once it's out, it never goes back.